So, I'd like to start this by asking you your name and where you're from.
My name is Veronica, and I'm originally from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
Beautiful. And what brought you here?
I recently came in contact with a friend who had come here himself, and Ibogaine came into my sphere 4 years ago. And slowly I kept learning more, and then friends of mine had good experience with it. And I got the opportunity to come, so I grabbed it and uprooted my whole family from North Carolina and came out to California, where I plan to stay. So I have a fresh start when I get back from here, Mexico, Ibogaine University. And I'm so glad I jumped at the chance because it's been a beautiful, beautiful experience.
In what way? Tell me more.
In every way, really. It's a beautiful place to be, first of all. The ocean and the rocks, the lava rock and sandstone. It's just a very spiritually centered place. And the whole staff here are wonderful, from the therapy to the massage, to the different activities. It really opened me up, got me talking and processing and really letting go of my grief, my shame, my guilt, and teaching me to love myself and believe in myself again.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's beautiful. I'd love to hear more if you're willing to share more about what that means to you in terms of releasing this guilt, the shame, learning to love yourself. I feel
what it's all about.
we all have that in our own way.
That's what it's all about. I'm getting tingles.
Good.
Because really, releasing that is what is making me capable of change, of growth, and really releasing the past and moving forward into the future. To just let it all go. To let it all go, to cry, to talk about it, whatever I needed to do. And the body work that Dominic did after my Ibogaine treatment was integral. Because I had stored up these energy calluses and stored up fear and grief and anger in my body, and she just moved it right out. Like what Ibogaine did for me mentally, she did for me physically, and energetically. So, and the qigong, the yoga, these are all practices that I'm going to carry into my daily life, because it is about loving yourself, but in discipline. Yeah.
Thank you for sharing.
You're welcome.
Tell me more about your Ibogaine experience.
Well, the harsh tutelage of Ibogaine. It's not some party trip, it's not some feel-good party trip. It's intense. It's very intense. You conquer yourself. It's all about facing and erasing your ego. And everything you take in with you is what you battle in there. And it's important to know that going in, that even if you set your intentions and even if you feel prepared, there's still going to be some moments in there that are tough. But like anything that's worthwhile, it's hard along the way to get there. Like getting in shape, anything. Like there's going to be a burn, And there was, I really wrestled with things, got in a loop of just, wanting drugs or, being, my anger and my fear. I really had to tackle those things. And another thing that it does do for you is it teaches you where your heart lies.
Hmm.
Because I materialized my husband and my daughter, you know, in front of me, you know, and it was actually like they were right there. And that's like, that's your heart. That's your heart. That's what matters. It, you know, it really brings that right into the forefront and makes you realize, you know, what your heart is. And also, afterwards, I mean, Ibogaine's not just about the trip itself, that couple of days, it's about the day after, too, because the day after, I was cracked wide open, spiritually, energetically. Everything was brighter and more colorful, and I could feel the energy off of everyone and everything, like literally feel it in vibration. And it was so beautiful to be completely open like that and to feel that deeply after being so closed for so long. You know, I felt like my perception was way out here where I'd been living in tunnel vision for so long. So, I mean, I was looking at the ocean, the waves crashing. I could like feel the molecules breaking up in the surf and joining into the atmosphere. I mean, it was absolutely amazing that day after. And what Scott said here at Ibogaine University is like, this is what it could be like, you know, if you keep on your journey of spiritual awakening and connectiveness of the universe. Like, this is what it could be like all the time, you know. It doesn't stay like that, unfortunately, because it's not that easy, you know, because, you know, there's still work to do. But, I mean, that was really beautiful that day after. And then the day after that, there's what was called the gray day, where it came back to reality. And I was like, oh. But then I learned a good lesson that day because everything seemed low again. But I came out of myself and out of my ego, which I had learned, and spread my energy outwards and danced and held somebody's hand that needed it. And then I felt great by my own doing. And that's what it's all about.
Wow, beautiful. There's so much that you should share that like I want to go into. But like I'm curious, well, there's two things that really stood out to me with what you shared. The first is how you said it's like an ego destroyer. You know, it really killed your ego. Tell me more about what you mean by that and what was that like for you?
I mean, it was tough because we're so used to being outward and dealing with other people's egos, and we never really dissect our own. And I guess I spent so many years being stubborn, bullheaded, and I'm this way. This is how I am. This is how I'll always be. And I just had to shatter that.
Wow.
You know, if I want to change, if I want a new, higher plane of existence, I needed to just destroy that.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Very humbling.
Very humbling. And that's something that I've really learned through this journey too, is humility and gratitude.
Oh, wow. In what way has that taught itself to you?
Just in, just to be humble. To be humble. I don't have to be right. You know, I don't have to know everything. It's actually better if I don't.
Yeah, it's easier.
Yeah.
Than having to be right all the time.
Right, you know? And just to be to allow myself to just say, okay, I'm here to learn, I'm here to change, and just to humbly take the advice and the tutelage.
Wow. So that brings me back to the second question, which is, like you said, you were very like closed, and this medicine, this sacrament, it was able to really open you up in
Oh, yeah.
a lot of ways.
Yeah.
In what way were you really closed? And like, describe that contrast to me.
Well, I was a heroin addict, and when you use opiates, your senses are deadened. You can hardly taste, smell. You have tunnel vision all the time. Or with alcohol, I was using alcohol a lot, and everything's blurred and distorted and dumbed down. Less colorful, and everything seems bleak because you're constantly focused on the pain and the need constantly, and very either detached from your body because you're hurting yourself every day, so you have to be completely detached from your body, or you're locked in your body just constantly with the withdrawals and or being super high, and it's all fake, like everything you're feeling is induced. It's not from your true self. So to let all that go, and then to be opened up and to see and to feel everything again. I mean, it was great even before Ibogaine, just being here and being clean and, not hustling and hurting myself every day was beautiful in itself. But then to go into that and really have all my receptors cleaned out, it was just like,
Wow.
just so beautiful. And I was like, this world is just amazing. This universe is amazing. Like everyone in it's amazing. I'm amazing. Like, I can't possibly squander this, It's just too much of a gift.
Wow. When's the last time you felt that way?
When my daughter was born.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah.
Wow. And I'm curious, how long were you suffering or experiencing this heroin addiction?
Let's see. I mean, I'm almost 40, so half my life.
Wow.
Half my life.
And
Yeah.
what happened that made you decide that now was the point to make a change?
I just felt like I was stuck in a loop of despair and just wasting my existence, which I was. And I have a beautiful daughter, I have a beautiful husband, I have a beautiful family, beautiful friends. I realized I have everything I want and need in my life. And the only thing stopping me from true happiness is myself.
Wow.
So
Beautiful. Thank you. Oh, I love feeling that. So what are you going to be taking into your life that's going to really help you stay clean?
Definitely the exercising. I need to keep with a routine. I definitely need to continue with yoga, qigong, taking walks, stretching, treating my body well, good diet. A good diet's very important, and just take care of my body, mind, and spirit, and just have a spiritual relationship with the Creator and myself, and and I also want to continue with the 12 steps and go to meetings as well. And I think all of that, if I just nurture my spirit and my body and my mind, I think I should, be able to hold it down.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Do you still get any cravings? Or?
I haven't at all. And I've got to say, we've been talking about our past here, me and the other patients, clients. And I used to get a physical response, just even talking about drugs. I would you'd get rapid heartbeat, get a little nauseous, or feel like I had to go to the bathroom or something. And now I just don't,
Wow.
It just doesn't even appeal to me. I spent too much time doing that. I don't want to stab myself with needles anymore. It makes me want to throw up. Making myself bleed every day. I mean, I forgive myself. I forgive myself, the past is the past, but in the future, I want to treat, this is a beautiful vessel. It's an amazing microcosm. I want to take care of it.
Wow. What did this whole journey with drugs teach you? And now that you're on the other side of it?
I realized that I was trying to deaden my pain, and also sometimes I was trying to have some sort of spiritual experience through drugs, But I realized that I can deal with my pain. It's better to deal with it, process it, and get beyond it, because pain is a part of reality. It's going to happen. We're going to have loss. Things are going to happen, but we just have to process it, deal with it, and move on. Can't stuff it down because it just pops up in the wrong places at the wrong times. And if you can't find spiritual discovery through drugs, you have to work for it and open your soul and your heart to make these realizations. They can't be false and induced. So I think that's what I was trying to get from them, or what have you. But I realize now that I have to go the natural route.
That's amazing. I love hearing throughout this whole conversation just how the spiritual journey and the spiritual awakening and this craving for a spiritual experience has been a part of it throughout your journey with drugs, and very much what you got from this all.
Yeah.
And would you consider yourself a spiritual person before? In what way has this really served you in your spiritual journey, as well as just the physical cleansing of it?
I think I had some fear associated with the spiritual. Even though I craved it, it was so big and I didn't understand it, and I really had no basis. There was just the Catholic Church from my family. I was raised Quaker, which was great with the meditation aspect, but it was a group setting, sitting on benches. It wasn't really, and I think growing up like that did start me on that path to have early meditative experiences. But then I strayed away from that when I left home, and I was so full of anger and so full of pain that I wasn't nurturing my spiritual self at all. And I went to a very black period, where I just didn't even address that aspect of self at all. And, it led me down a very dark path for a very long time, So I'm back in touch with that part of me, and I'm so glad. I'm so glad.
Wow, that's amazing. And with what you just shared, it makes me curious about, why did you start drugs in the first place? You mentioned this anger and these experiences, and I'm sure there's a correlation, but I'm curious how you look at it. Why did you start drugs in the first place?
Well, my parents were addicts, and I think in some way I wanted to understand them. My father got clean, but he didn't get rid of his anger. He didn't get rid of his fear. He didn't get rid of his shame. He didn't get rid of his guilt. He was working the steps, but kind of taking shortcuts, and and then he became a compulsive overeater. Even though he was clean off the drugs and alcohol, he was still an addict, And he would talk about his drug days as his glory days, talk about them so positively, and he was so miserable sober. So I think part of me kind of wanted to see him happy, or see what that was all about. And I was in an alternative group of friends, and of course with people in subcultures, people with different levels of mental illness, there tends to drugs seep in the picture. Drugs, they come in, with radical music scenes and stuff. It always seems like it's a shame because drugs always seem to attack creative people first. And maybe it's because we're sensitive and the world is too much because we're so sensitive to energy and everything and how fucked up the world can be, and we just want to feel better and happy. But it's all false. It's better to find it the real way.
Yeah. I really resonate with that, with you saying like how the people who are called to drugs, I really see that there's this common thread between all of them that, they are sensitive, the world is too much, and at their core, I feel a lot of the people who are called to drugs are because of that craving for that spiritual truth and reality behind the fucked up world. So just even with my own journey with it as well, in my own unique way as we all do, I really resonate with that. So thank you so much, Vern. I really appreciate everything that you shared, this conversation, and I just want to ask you to share any final words with anybody who might be watching this, who might be experiencing this desire to get clean. What would you say to them?
Stop making excuses. Just do it. Because, put it aside. Put everything you think you need to do, all the reasons you can't do it. Just shed all that and just do it. Because, don't waste your life. It's so beautiful. And, and I also wanted to share, too, we've talked about Ibogaine, but I also did Toad while I was here, and that was very beautiful as well. And I think it's a good end note to end the interview on, because the experience I had with that is the whole universe opened up in front of me, and I saw all the intricate inner workings of the universe, yet I also saw the simplicity of it all, and we are all loved children, and we have to just let go and see that it's okay and it's simple. So if you want to get clean, it's simple, and you're a loved child. Just do it and love yourself as much as you would love your most cherished friend.
Oh, so beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing that. And for anybody who's watching, Toad is another one of the therapies that we offer here. And you can find out more about everything that we offer at ibogaine Thank you so much for participating and watching this interview. I really hope this serves you, whoever's watching this. And thank you again, Vern, so much.